Our cell phones are like an extension of our body. We all have one, and we have all probably had more than one in our lifetime. Globally, more than 5 billion people own a cell phone. According to an analysis at Gartner, in the first quarter of 2018, more than 384 million cell phones were sold worldwide. What did you do with your old cell phone? Did you toss it in a drawer to collect dust, or did you toss it away completely? The impact of not recycling your cell phone is a waste of the precious rare earth materials that still exist. It also affects our ecosystems and our own bodies. Electronic waste, or e-waste, is waste consisting of discarded electronic products such as computers, televisions, gaming consoles, printers, tablets, cell phones, and chargers. There is a loss of $55 billion annually worldwide from resources inside such as gold. In 2014, 16 billion pounds of e-waste were discarded in the United States alone. This equates to $60 million worth of gold and silver per year. The UN reported that every year, 20 to 50 million tons of e-waste is generated worldwide. That sounds like a lot, but that only equates to about 5% of total world waste. In the US, according to the Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, e-waste is only 2% in the United States. However, that equates to 70% of our hazardous waste. In the US, 416,000 cell phones enter landfills or incinerators every day, releasing toxins into our air, water, and soil. The cost of stripping down a cell phone is often more costly than what can be recovered from the cell phone to be resold. Due to this, a lot of countries ship out their e-waste to developing countries. In 2016, researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology put tracking devices on 200 cell phones. They then discarded those cell phones through a recycler. They tracked the cell phones to countries from the US to Hong Kong, Mexico, Taiwan, China, Pakistan, Thailand, the Dominican Republic, Canada, and Kenya. In 2016, China took on 70% of the world's electronic waste. After seeing the devastating effects on their workers, environment, and their people, they decided to put bans on several types of imports of electronic waste. Since then, Thailand has stepped up and become the world's new dumping ground, but they're seeing similar results. So they're considering putting bans on similar bans on their e-waste as well. The US has several laws about what is allowed in landfills. Several states even have further restrictions. However, most states don't follow these laws. Cell phones also don't fall under these laws. Sean Magan, Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Sims Recycling Solutions, said, "One of the biggest challenges facing recyclers today is waste minimalization. Desktop computers were once made from 100% metal and easy to recover, but now more items are plastic-based and the average size of each device has decreased. This means a lot more work is going into these devices with very little output. In addition, each device has more hazardous material inside of them. This is a big part of the reason we export all of our e-waste to other countries. Foreign electronic industries have a bad reputation for poor working conditions on manufacturing end, but they also have a really poor working conditions on the disposal end of things as well. Disposing phones, if done improperly, exposes one to chemicals such as benzene and lead, both with terrible health impacts and links to elevated risks of cancer. Most electronic waste sent overseas isn't moved legally. It's sent to more developing countries where people look to this kind of work as their source of income. Unfortunately, people in these factories aren't using the proper safety materials or face masks. It's also been found that they're burning the cables to get the copper inside, and they're releasing toxins in the air such as cadmium, chromium, and brominated flame retardants, according to the box. This is killing their ecosystems. According to the EPA, about 44.7 million metric tons of e-waste was generated worldwide in 2016, but only 8.9% million, which is about 20%, was treated by a national electronic take-back center. That means the remaining was moved illegally or is now in our landfills. This excessive e-waste can cause serious damage to the environment and our bodies. If I didn't explain the severity before of how detrimental improper discarding of e-waste is, then let me read to you this list of toxins found in your cell phone from eCycle. The lead in a lot of cell phones, batteries, and circuit boards can damage the reproductive, blood, and nervous systems. According to the EPA, lead taken into the body through contaminated water, contaminated food, and the air can cause buildup in your bones. Mercury found in the battery, circuit board, and other places can lead to brain and kidney damage. One cell phone contains 2 grams of mercury. Arsenic in the microchips is lethal. Low levels can impact your skin, your liver, your nervous system, and your respiratory system. Cadmium in the battery is associated with cognitive, learning, behavioral, and neuromotor skills. It's also proved to affect the kidneys. Chlorine in the plastic of your phone, which is about 30% of your phone, if disposed of improperly, can lead to tissue damage and the destruction of the cell structure. Last, bromine is linked to cognitive and developmental deficiencies, as well as thyroid hormone imbalances, brain damage, and cancer. The EPA reported that recycling 1 million cell phones can recover more than 20,000 pounds of copper, 20 pounds of palladium, 550 pounds of silver, and 50 pounds of gold. Tokyo is taking a fun stance on recycling. They are using the resources acquired from recycled phones to make the 2020 Olympic and Paralympic medals. They need to make about 50,000 medals. The average phone only has a little bit individually, but so far the city has collected about 80,000 cell phones. It's imperative that we recycle our e-waste properly and through the proper channels, as to not release toxins into our air, water, and soil. Many electronic stores are legally required to accept old cell phones. They then arrange ways to recycle and dispose of them. Apple recovered $40 million in gold in 2015 because of this requirement. If not your cell phone carrier, then there are eco ATMs all over the US. Best Buys also have recycling bins in all of their stores. There are also several charities that collect old cell phones. Do the research for your area and find out where you can turn in your old phone. Don't throw them away to rot in a landfill, or don't put them in a drawer to collect dust and never see the light of day again, and waste the rare, precious earth materials that still exist in our world.